Vibing with the sounds of the Opps intro here. Here we go. Here we go. Am I unmuted? I don't even know if I'm on. I'm
You're
on, right?
on
We live. We're here. We're
live
here.
and
We're in the
clear.
building. Opps SportsCast. We live, baby. Hey, we got a fantastic show. And your boy got the fresh cut. Got to stay fly. You know what I mean? Because tomorrow is your boy's birthday, and so I had to keep it lined up tight. You know what I mean? We starting another chapter here, but we got another chapter here in the NFL season as well. That's what they call the segue, baby. Let's go. Trade deadline, some crazy moves happening. MLB, did you guys see that? People are calling it the greatest World Series of all time. And for those who got to watch some of those games, I don't know if you agree, but it was drama. It was theater. It was also one of the most watched game sevens in Major League history, which is saying something, considering today's climate when it comes to, televised anything right now. And so kudos to Major League Baseball. We're going to be talking load management. KD made some crazy comments again. It seems like we talk KD quite a bit because he's always got those Twitter fingers. And we'll be talking about the spirit of replay. Appreciate that, Jigs. Many more. And so we got the whole crew with us today. Let me give them a shout out here. Immediately to my left,
I'm Josh from East Side.
yeah, in the building. And immediately below,
It's your boy Big Z.
and last but certainly not least,
What's up, everybody? It's Dave in the cut.
Dave in the cut.
absolutely. Me and Dave are pretty happy today
Yeah, we are.
because of the NFL trade deadline. I got to tell you, when I looked down at my phone and I saw who we got, Indianapolis Colts traded for Sauce. Cornerback Sauce Gardner going to the Colts in what was probably the trade that sent shockwaves through the industry.
Yeah.
I would say so. Now, for multiple reasons. Now, some people are saying it's a fair trade both sides, but I don't know. Since we have a resident Colts fan, not only myself included, on the team, I'm going to start the first topic of today off with my man Dave in the cut. What do you think, brother, about that trade? What was your initial reaction to the news?
So my initial reaction was that Woody Johnson is trying to make things easy for his young coach. He's obviously picking the coach over the players. So players beware. Anybody thinking about going there in free agency? Probably no one. Um, oh, shout out to my boy Nicholas, who may be watching. He's a Jets fan. Nicholas from the JO. This is for you, Nick. Nobody wants to go to the Jets because the owner is he's got one foot on the senile center and another one on the banana peel. So for me, this is a no-brainer, man. It's blockbuster. Sauce Gardner, I know everybody was concerned about the 2-1s. I'm not concerned about the 2-1s because you see it on his chest. He's a 1. It's like Christmas Day, man. We get to survive the next 2 drafts. We got Sauce Gardner, right? It's like getting the number 1 draft pick. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Peasy?
I mean, some people are saying fell off. When I was looking at New York Jets media, because we see a lot of it being where we live, a lot of people, surprisingly, with the Jets, were happy to see him go because they felt like he was overrated.
Nah, man. You know what he is? He's under challenge, bro. He's just not motivated to be there, bro. And like I mean, he gets paid to do his job, but I understand. You know what I mean? I feel like he's gonna come to the Colts. He's gonna ball out. The 2-1s, I have no problem with the 2-1s for Sauce Gardner, man. I think a lot of people, are gonna be surprised how well he does. I feel like, obviously, he's gonna get challenged. I think he's gonna prove himself right. Um, it's nice to see our GM do something for once, but like I said in in the chat, I feel like he's fighting for his life, man. Um, Carly Ursay Gordon, she doesn't care. She doesn't care who you are. Her father's not around to hear your sob stories anymore. You know what I mean? You can't buddy up to her. She's signing the checks. She's bringing people in to perform. So I feel like this is a no-brainer, man. I feel like Barrett did a great job pulling this off. We'll just see what happens.
I think I could speak for a lot of fans out there when I say when your team is good and you feel like you got a shot, even if it's not the betting odds favorite in Vegas shot, you want to see your team go for it. And so I think there's a lot of teams out there, maybe like the Steelers, you know what I mean? That like, hey man, we're number one in the division. We got Aaron Rodgers. His window is very short. How come we're not going all in and going for it? There's a lot of teams out there that kind of feel that way. And I'm happy to say that the Colts aren't one of them. They're going for it. And so you got to at least respect that. Another team that has probably a betting odds favorite, and they decided to go for it, was the team that actually made the most trades of the trade deadline season. And Josh, what team was that?
That would be the Philadelphia Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles. And so since we have a Philadelphia Eagles fan on the squad, I figured we just throw it up to Josh and let us know what you think of those transactions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Howie Roseman, he is the GM of all GMs. The man knows what he's doing. He knows how to cut contracts. He knows how to pick players. He knows how to make deals, and he gets it done. He's been getting it done year after year, it seems. I feel like all of NFL fans across the world, Eagles fans, are not. They're like, how does this guy keep doing it? And we got some pretty decent players to help us on the defensive end, including re-signing the retired Brandon Graham.
Oh
And
yeah, not to be overlooked. Yeah.
that's a little bit overlooked by this trade deadline and by some preseason moves. So Brandon Graham is undoubtedly he is a fire for that defense. He knows how to get boys riled up. He knows how to motivate. He knows how to get them going. He talks so much junk on the field, and I love every clip bit that I can get from that guy. But going back to this trade deadline, as you can see right on the top of this, we got Jair Alexander. Now, Jair has had some issues with his health as of late, but with Green Bay, he was a two-time All-Pro. And he's going to help in our cornerback room, especially with getting Cooper DeJean back in this rover position in the middle of the field, just so he can get back to his former self and make some plays like he did in the Super Bowl. And then we picked up Phillips from Miami, and again, Phillips is another aging star who's had some issues with I think he's had ACL injuries back to back years, 2023 and 2024. But there's no doubt that he's still a playmaker, and we needed somebody up front to help get us some pressures from the defense on the opposing quarterback. So I think overall, I think the Eagles front office have made plays and made picks that only elevated the team. And there's no doubt that they're trying to go back to back for repeat
Now,
trophy.
but I just got to mention this just before we go to what the Cowboys did here in a second. Was that it was funny because the coach of the Browns was asked this question. Did you guys see this? He was asked a question at a press conference, and they asked him point blank, "Did you see the 400 yards that Joe Flacco just threw for? Why do you think he couldn't do that for the Browns?"
Yeah.
And that was my man just sat there and was just there like, I don't talk about players on other teams.
Yeah.
Great save, coach. Great save. But also, man, the season started off with Micah Parsons getting traded to the Green Bay Packers, which has actually been a phenomenal trade for the Packers as they sit, I believe, first place in the conference, although they look very, very shaky this
Mm-hmm.
weekend, which we'll talk about in a second. Um, but at the time, the owner of the Cowboys was basically saying, "Hey, we got a ton of players out of this deal, and these are some of those players. He made some trades this week. Zeke, do you like these moves, or you think he should have held out and really tried to implement what we thought was the plan, which was to build through the draft? Or are you kind of feeling these kind of moves?"
I don't think I'm gonna be on screen saying that I like anything that Jerry Jones did for a long time. Essentially, at the end of the day, we traded Micah Parsons for Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, and a first round pick.
Mm.
I'm glad it's basketball season. I'm glad the Bulls are doing well. I'm
Not
glad
saying that.
Duke is back on TV. Um, I I said it before and I said it again. As long as Jerry Jones is alive and running the team as general manager, I'm gonna give this team zero energy.
I mean, Quentin Williams is a problem, though, don't you think? I mean, he's a
No,
legit dude.
Quentin Williams was a problem.
Oof.
Um, I don't. I think he's seen his best days. Maybe he'll have some kind of career rejuvenation, but what his best year was what a couple years ago when he had 12 sacks. Um,
Mm.
I think he's sitting at like one or two this year. I'm over it. Honestly, I'm over it.
Mm.
Nothing that Jerry Jones has done this year has led me to believe that the Cowboys are headed in the right direction. He was quoted as saying he cares more about the oil industry than fixing the defense, and um, I think this deadline goes. I look at this list and I see all this secondary help that was moved, and we walk away with Quentin Williams and a linebacker that the Bengals didn't want. So I'm over it, bro. I'm over it. That's all I got for y'all on this trade deadline. I'm happy for y'all. Y'all got sauce. Um, I'll never be happy for the Eagles. Sorry, Josh. I love you, but forget your team. Um, but yeah,
Fair.
that's what it is right now.
Let me ask you this, Zeke.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Chris Ballard as a GM?
Is that your GM?
Yeah. I'm
I,
still not.
I I haven't heard y'all say anything good about him. Um, I don't
Until
recall
now.
hearing y'all say anything good about him, except for I know you guys are happy you got Sauce, but before that, I'm trying to remember when you guys have ever said anything good about any of your GMs. I know you hate Brian Cashman,
Oof,
um, but
hair
yeah,
just stood up on my neck when you said that name, bro.
I know. Honestly, I would have. I think at this point, after let's see, I became a fan in '92. I think I'd rather have anybody other than Jerry Jones as a GM.
All right.
He's great at signing checks. That's his forte. He's to sign checks. Um, Step out of the way and let somebody else run the team. I don't even want Stephen Jones running the team. I don't want the Jones family running the team.
Easy
But
there.
after I watched
Easy
that
there going into the
documentary,
last name, okay? Relax.
huh? What
Easy
happened?
on the last names there. Relax.
Bruh, I, I I doubt they would claim you as a distant cousin. You safe. Um, but yeah, as far as Jerry and Steven and Jerry Jr. and Charlotte and whatever else, the dog, I don't know, they might have a
Man,
dog.
you going out of
I don't
line, huh?
when they're done with the Cowboys, if ever, 'cause, I mean, at this rate, they'll probably just pass it down to the grandkids. I don't know, but it's been a miserable existence as a Cowboys fan for the past few years. It
Speaking of
seems like we can't get right. We got like a bomb offense and a trash defense, and then we'll get a decent defense and Quincy Carter playing quarterback. It's just it's never clicking. And when
Yeah.
it does click, we blow it in the playoffs. So I don't know.
Mm.
Well, that bomb offense only scored 17 against the Cardinals. Um, we're going to
Listen,
transit.
again, not you can't just drop that nuke and then
Oh
we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
transition,
man.
PZ loves to
bruh.
do that.
You know
What
what?
we have to.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead,
Yeah,
go ahead,
yeah.
go ahead.
Well, here's the
Nope,
thing.
nope.
They
Next
traded for
topic.
Logan Wilson. They traded for Logan Wilson from the Bengals, like you mentioned. He wasn't even starting for the Bengals, and the Bengals just got like embarrassed. I mean, absolutely crushed. And so my question for the we're going to do things a little bit different. Sometimes we go through each game. I figure it might be a little bit more interesting just to say, guys, what did we learn from Week 9? What did we learn from Week 9? Do you feel like you learned more from the big wins, or do you feel like you learned more from the big losses? From the big wins, I mean, like that's not those are not the current scores.
Is that last year?
Oh, we got a fumble. Yep,
That's
that was
Yeah,
last year's.
Don't say
yeah,
fumble. I still got PTSD
hold
from
it
that
down.
last game.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
So, did we learn more from the big wins of the Bills over the Chiefs? Did we learn more from perhaps the Vikings over the Lions? Right? Did we learn more from the Ravens? Really like pulling their season together with a big win on Thursday Night Football. Seems like a long time ago now over the Dolphins. Or do you feel like the bigger headlines from Week 9 were the big losses from the Colts, from the Packers that we talked about earlier, or from those Cincinnati Bengals in the fashion that they lost? Um, what do you think stood out to you the most? I'll throw it right back to you, Zeke.
Um, I think it's just a case of any given Sunday. You can't take this thing for granted. Like you said, we had a bunch of big losses from teams that you look on paper, they probably should have won a game. And you had a bunch of wins that came from teams that you wouldn't expect to show up like that. I think that teams realize that you can't just go through the motions. You can't just show up and think you're just gonna dominate a team just because their record sucks. Um, these are grown men out there playing for their livelihoods just like you. So you got to show up. And I mean, if you got a team that you're supposed to beat down, you should beat them 41-17. Don't play down to their level. Just go out there and handle your business, or you're gonna get caught slipping. As far as the Bills and the Chiefs, what do we learn? Josh Allen beats the Chiefs in the regular season. I've been saying it for years. Let me see it in the playoffs. It's always happened. They meet in
hmm
the playoffs, and Magic Mahomes pulls it off. So yeah, you guys beat the Chiefs again. Congratulations.
I
Do it in
seven.
the playoffs. Um, Danny Dimes is reemerging as Danny Dimes. Y'all better be careful. That
Hey.
okay. I'll let somebody else talk.
let that
Let
He's
go.
him
Indiana
cook.
Jones, okay? He's
Let
Danny
him
Dimes
No,
cook.
no,
is
no, no.
it's
He
his
was
New
not
York
Indiana Jones. He
name.
was not Indiana Jones this past Sunday, bro.
That's
He
Not
was
facts.
Danny Dimes.
Yeah. He had that Danny Dimes look, and it was there like someone had to smack him a little bit and be there like, bro, y'all in New York. Ain't no more ghosts on the field. Um,
Right.
but all right, Dave, what stood out to you the most? The big wins, the big losses, and tell me what you think is the headline.
Um, I was so the big win for me actually was the Bills. I was a little bit surprised because I really thought that with Patrick Mahomes having his weapons, I thought maybe he would with in a combination of the Bills' injuries, losing Oliver, I thought that would be huge for them, and I thought that would be a stumbling block. But I just really thought that Mahomes, like he would, with the weapons that he had, with Rice coming back or whatnot, they were kind of catching their stride. So for me, that was a big win. Buffalo usually, we usually are dying in our fantasy football chat with Jason. The Bills play to their opponent's level, no matter who they play. So that's probably why they came out on top, on the Chiefs. So that was a big game for me. I was very surprised. The Colts game surprised me. It was a trap game. However, the Steelers usually stand up for those kind of games. You know what I mean? They're the ones that like just when you think somebody is catching their stride, here come the Steelers out of nowhere to play a perfect game. I do feel like we made it easy for them. What do we have? Five turnovers, six.
Yeah, I think it was six, bro. It's like every time I thought we had a shot to come back, it was
Yeah,
fumble,
just dumb stuff.
interception. Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness.
so Colts were the surprise for me. Packers, not so much. I feel like the Packers, I'm not going to touch on all of them for the sake of time, but I just wanted to get this in about the Packers. The Bengals, we already know their defense sucks. And we'll get into that later. We have another topic about that. Packers, I'm not surprised. They don't utilize their they have a heck of a rookie receiver in Golden, and they do not utilize him at all. They can't say he doesn't get open. It's just that Love just doesn't throw to him. Um, so Colts, Bills for me. I yield.
All right. All right. Josh.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest surprise for me was seeing Seattle and your boy throw like a perfect game against the Commanders. I just don't understand how it feels like the Vikings and the Giants, I should say, have been giving up like really good quarterbacks and they succeed everywhere else. And so with Sam Darnold just balling out, and don't get me wrong, the Commanders are not like a great team this year. They've got plagued injuries on both sides of the ball, but still, like, to see this dude come out and literally not miss a pass for like the first half, it felt like Sam Darnold was just balling. So for me, the blowout from Seattle in Washington was kind of a surprise to me. And then of course our boy Jaden Daniels, you hate to see it, but he goes down with a dislocated elbow or something, and he's
Yeah.
probably out for the season. So um, big loss for them. That's their guy, and who knows what's next for them. I think they got Mariota on the bench, throwing for them, and we already know where that goes. So I'd say that was the biggest win, the biggest like surprise for me was seeing Sam Darnold go out and like literally have a perfect game and ball out the way that he did.
Josh, give me your thoughts on how that game was handled with Jaden Daniels getting injured in such a gruesome fashion. If you guys haven't seen the video, he dislocated his elbow as he went to plant his elbow on the ground to brace himself before he fall.
Mm-hmm.
Arm turned in the complete opposite direction. It was a kind of a gruesome scene. If you haven't seen it, you're not going to want to.
Mm-mm.
But the coach is getting flack for leaving him in what was meaningless garbage time. Um, Tell me, what do you think about his decision to leave him in the game?
Yeah, I mean, again, you have to wonder like if the Commanders coaching staff and front office they're trying to get them back to the hype that they were towards the end of last season. And so I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to play their young guys, and they're trying to get them to get comfortable again out on the field and make some plays. I mean, they've got some pretty good players on the offense. I mean, Zach Ertz is having another great season. He has been as of right now. He closed out last season great as a good tight end for the league, almost a bit of his former self. And then you got Debo Samuel now, who can run and catch and make crazy plays. And then you got Jaden Daniels, who's shown great signs. And so I think they left them out there because they're hoping to finally get something to click, but unfortunately it's shown up as a bad move.
Any of you guys got any strong takes on Jaden Daniels staying in the game?
He gave me Derrick Rose vibes,
Mm.
Whew, that's a very good comp. But I tell you, the people in Washington will probably use RG3 rather than Derrick Rose.
That's what I
But
was going to say.
but that's a very good comp though, Zeke.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my take.
Man, I'm sorry. That organization, they have a thing about running young players out there, especially young quarterbacks. I don't know what it is, man, but they just put them in dangerous situations that they don't need to be in. There was no reason for that guy to be out in that game, man.
Yeah.
That kid's way too young, and they are ruining him, man.
Yeah, way too valuable.
Way too valuable. This dude's rookie card, man, just sold at the Fanatics Fest, $500,000. You know who bought it?
His mama. No,
Some
just
fool with
kidding.
some money.
Huh?
Who was it?
Some fool with some money.
The Commander's owner.
Of
He
course.
bought it. $500,000 for that rookie card, bro.
Dang.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
That's not gonna age well. If this kid,
At all.
if he continues to get injured every year, man, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I give him
I
two
think
more
that was
years
the-
to hurt like this, and he's not gonna be fit for the league.
That was the take on a lot of quarterbacks of Jaden Daniels' stature. Is they're like, are they going to be able to hold up to the punishment that the NFL doles out? And you've seen players with even like a little beefier stature, like Andrew Luck, that just couldn't take the constant punishment. And there's some other quarterbacks that, I mean, even Cam Newton towards the end started to not be able to hold up to all that constant punishment. As this season or his career did not last as long as some of his contemporaries. But man, I mean, someone with that kind of stature, like, and to play the way that he plays, he scrambles, he's out there, he doesn't know how to slide, kind of like a Tua, right? Eventually, like that stuff catches up to you, and I hope and I pray for Jaden Daniels that it never gets to the point where we're seeing him hobbled off the field like an RG3 or like a Tua, where he doesn't end up having the career we all think he should. I'll tell you what stood out to me. It was easily for me the biggest loss, which had to be the Cincinnati Bengals. Can you get any more heartbreaking than that game? I had a chance to watch it on Red Zone where the Bengals, they just looked done. And all of a sudden, they make this valiant effort to come all the way back. And if I'm not mistaken, they even got like an onside kick. It was bleak odds. They come all the way back. They get the touchdown. They're celebrating. They're hyped up. The game feels over. It felt over because it was not a whole lot of time left. It just wasn't. And you're thinking like all they need is just one stop. They don't even need to they forced them to get a touchdown. They only need one stop. And they're the Bengals and they blow it. And a pass to the rookie tight end,
Loveland
hit by two Bengals defenders in the middle of the field. He spins off of them both and charges right down the field.
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable. It's heartbreaking, gut-wrenching fashion. It was all the theater you could possibly want out of a football game. But if you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan and you're hoping and praying you get your Joe Burrow back, and you're thinking, guys, we beat the Steelers with Joe Flacco, right? You beat the Steelers. Next up, we got the New York Jets and we got the Chicago Bears. If we can get through the next two games with W's, we're right back in the thick of things in the division, and we lining up perfectly to be at least in a competitive spot to get our quarterback Joe Burrow back and salvage this season. And they go on to lose to the winless at the time, New York Jets. And they go on to not be able to get a stop at the end of the game against the Bears. And then you have guys like Chase Brown and Jamar Chase talking that smack after the game about just get a stop. Come on, man, just get a stop. Or listen, like Jamar Chase, they put the microphone. Listen, I don't want anybody to come and tell me how to do my job. I'm not gonna talk about the defense. Well, the question was about what do you feel about the game and how it unfolded. So it's there like you kind of talked about the defense, bro. And so like at this point, as you're looking at your screen, the Bengals' chances of the playoffs are 1.8%. You're not bringing back Burrow with a 1.8% chance. The Bengals might have squandered their season this Sunday. And so to me, that was the biggest. That stood out to me the most. You know, I tell you what stood out to me on the other big loss had to be Kyler Murray, and his team won.
Yeah.
But his team won, but I think he lost his starting job with how well Jacoby Brissett just played in that game.
They just
Other
put him on
than,
IR today.
Yeah,
huh?
they did just put him on
They just
IR
put him
They
on
put
today.
him on
IR today.
IR, which to me I think is a soft benching. I don't know what you guys think. I think there was no way they wanted to
Absolutely.
put him through that shame of benching him, or maybe like tarnish his maybe trade possibility, which they didn't even end up trading that man. I don't know what they're planning to do in Arizona. I don't think they do either. But obviously, I'm with Dave. I didn't like seeing what happened with the Colts, but I digress. Um, we got a lot to get to, so let's just keep it moving here. Let's jump into what people are calling the world's great or the world's greatest World Series ever. Now, none of our teams were in it, so I mean, but drama wise, I mean, do you guys respect, people having that take? First off,
Recency bias.
for sure, for sure. But I mean, to me, it is a recency. Yeah, I think that's a very good take, Zeke. But I would say this: it was competitive, it was phenomenal. It was, as far as baseball today, it was pretty much all you can ask for. You had uh, good pitching somewhat, but not too good pitching where it was like no offense. And so it just, to me, it kind of like hit that groove where it's they're like, bro, you're throwing everybody. This is it. You're throwing every starting pitcher you got in Game 7, which is just incredible. And I know some people were there like, I don't like seeing starting pitchers in Game 7, bro. Like it takes what it takes. You know what I mean? And so like greatest World Series ever. I don't know about that, but it was competitive. What do you think,
What's
Dave?
what's on your mind, man?
What's up?
What's on your mind?
Nah, it's just people talking about they don't like seeing starting pitchers in Game 7. It's like, dude, the one of the most vivid memories in my mind is the Diamondbacks starting Kurt Schilling and then Randy Johnson coming out and finishing the game. Um, how many times did Mad Bum come out and secure a win in the World Series for the Giants? I mean, uh, look, all hands on deck. That's the mentality of a Game 7, especially in baseball. All hands on deck. Yamamoto, the night after he won Game 6, came out and threw what 3 innings in Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. You think they win that game without him doing what he did on the mound?
Mm.
But I tell you what, Zeke, I mean, that's a phenomenal point too, is that how do you not respect that, man? Don't you
Right.
want someone like that on your team? Real talk,
Absolutely.
man. That's
Give me the
that's the kind
ball.
of that's the kind of dog I want on my team. Is
Mm-hmm.
they're like, bro, it's all on the line, coach. Like I know I just threw 7 or 8 shutout innings, but if you need me tomorrow in Game 7, I'll give you another 6.
Yeah.
Bro, how much do we got to pay that man? Get him on my team.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
So
So like,
there was way too many. There's way too many opinions from casuals going around social media. You could tell by just the temperature of the comments. People, especially the Dodgers fans, you know, they don't like people liking this to a David and Goliath matchup. So I heard somebody say absolutely nobody was calling this here go Peasy again,
Disappearing act.
playing Houdini.
Ooh.
Welcome back. Ghostly disappearances. So them saying that this wasn't a David versus Goliath matchup is complete nonsense, and it just goes to show anybody who makes that comment, man, that it's like they clearly aren't watching. Um, they're not watching a full season. They're not keeping up with their team. They're bandwagon fans because this was absolutely David versus Goliath. Goliath. They picked the Dodgers from spring training, bro. During the winter meetings, they had the Dodgers winning the World Series. Nobody else stood a chance. It didn't matter who they were bringing out, right? So for me, I saw Toronto gave them everything that they had, man. And this for me, it was a great World Series. Would I call it the greatest of all time? I wouldn't go that far, but um, it was the most glazed World Series of all time. I'll give it that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I,
Yeah.
I I struggle, Dave, calling it a David
What do
versus
you mean?
Goliath only because
It's not David versus
Toronto
Goliath.
Huh?
Toronto's got dudes. I think it's almost a little disrespectful to Toronto to call them a David. They got dudes. They got highly paid
No,
dudes,
you guys are
and they're
missing
not
the
like
point.
us. They're not a small market franchise.
You're missing the point. The David and Goliath reference is it doesn't matter who they had, bro. They didn't. Nobody gave them a chance. There were teams that had dogs. Nobody gave them a chance. Everybody's been talking about Cal Riley all year. I mean, they were talking about the Brewers. The Brewers were supposed. Nobody gave any other team a chance except the Dodgers. They didn't want to talk about anybody else. As long as Otani is there and he's pitching, nobody stands a chance. Otani's going to do the whole thing by himself. Blah blah blah. That's the David and Goliath. Nobody gave David a shot when he was going up against.
No, I remember vividly watching your boy Jeter played into that David versus Goliath when he went on to talk about how deep Toronto was and how they got a great team, and then he looked at the camera and said, "But the Dodgers are a juggernaut." Dude, Toronto had the fifth highest payroll in the league. Like this wasn't the Tampa Bay Rays that the Dodgers beat.
That's exactly
This was
it.
the Blue Jays, man.
Right, bro. I get it. I get what you're saying. But the point that I'm making is nobody paid attention to any of that.
Okay, you talking about at the beginning of the year, but by the time the playoffs came around, the Jays was like, "Yo, we here." They knocked off the Yankees in the regular season. They did it again in the playoffs. They ran through the playoffs and got to the World Series. By the time the World Series started, it was no longer David versus Goliath.
So let me
It
ask
was
you
this
this:
can go any way.
if it wasn't David versus Goliath, when Fox Sports got the World Series, right? Was the coverage of Toronto and the Dodgers straight down the middle, or was it heavy Dodgers?
Let
Dude,
me
you
answer
say it
that one.
all week. As long as Otani, you say it every week. As long as Otani is on the screen, the coverage is always going to lean heavily towards Otani for whatever
So
reason. But you talking like a casual, like you just blasted. True baseball fans know this wasn't David versus Goliath, man.
Nah, man.
so let me
I'm not
point out a couple
hearing it,
things
man.
for you. Let me point out a couple things. Where did Game Seven take place?
It wasn't
Toronto.
L.A.
You said
It was not it
I said
was
it
not
wasn't
LA.
L.A.
It was not LA. Why was it not LA?
because it was in Toronto. Because Toronto was a better team this year.
That was a better team. They finished with the best record no, they weren't the best record in Major League Baseball, but they were the best record in the AL. And so that's why they had home field advantage. LA actually underachieved this year during the regular season, as they
Bro,
struggle with injuries and inconsistent play
do I have to
for portions
skywrite it
of
for
it.
y'all? Or do I have to write it in Braille? Do y'all want me to do it
But
in smoke signals?
no, no.
You want me to set up,
Let me
y'all
just
want me to set
answer
up
your
and do a little
question more
smoke
specifically here.
and like
So
a little
there's a
He's
shuffle?
just mad the
portion,
Yankees wasn't in it. That's what
Y'all
it
not
is.
getting it,
bro.
bro. You're not
Let
getting
me
it.
tell you, there's a portion I agree with you that the coverage was not right down the middle. And I heard, I don't know if you got a chance to hear Mad Dog Russo talk. He was actually like a whole like rant about this, about how the announcer for Fox of the World Series was a man by the name of, I believe, Joe Davis, right? He's actually the announcer, if I'm correct on this, of the regular season for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He does their play by play for the regular season. And so when they were in the World Series, he was leaning towards stories about the Dodgers because he knew all of them from covering them during the year. And so a lot of people were pointing out, probably not knowing that fact, talking about like, why are we talking right now about Clayton Kershaw, who only got one out in the World Series, when the game is this spectacular and happening and unfolding in front of your eyes? Is because Joe Davis, like he was that guy that was covering them throughout the regular season. So much so, and this is where I agree with you, Dave, that he was actually at the parade for the Los Angeles Dodgers celebrating their victory, talking trash from what I understand. And so, yeah, the coverage was biased. Yeah, the coverage was slanted. That's who they had, broadcasting the game. And so, like, I, I wouldn't I wouldn't make that the reason though and this is where I more agree with Zeke. I want to make that the reason why I would call it David versus Goliath, because Toronto had a squad. They had a squad, and they almost won that game. And that's actually one of the things that we wanted to talk about here. Do we have that clip? I don't know if you guys saw this. And so during the World Series, there was a couple plays that came right down to the wire. And so you guys got it on your screen here. I don't know if they can hear me while the audio is going on.
Yeah, no audio.
There's no audio. Okay, so no audio. And so there was a play at the plate. I believe bases were loaded, so he didn't have to tag the runner at the base. The ball just had to beat him there. And so this would have won the game for the Blue Jays, and basically won the World Series for the Blue Jays if he's safe. Now, when I saw them go to replay, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not like, Monday morning quarterbacking this. I felt real time that was not the way to adjudicate the World Series. Personally, I don't want the World Series coming down to a microscope, right? To me, the spirit of replay would have just completely taken out the reason it's there. Now, I understand from if you're on the Blue Jays, you don't care about that. You just want to win the game. But from a casual fan perspective, where like the Mets are not in the World Series, from a casual fan perspective, personally, that's not how I want to see the World Series end. But that is my take on that, and I'll add to that a little bit later. But I want your guys' thoughts on that. I'll throw it to you first.
Berto on the show, please. Why is Berto understanding me and I can't get y'all to understand what I'm saying, man?
Berto says he's not saying that Jays ain't good, just that nobody ever mentioned them at all in his opinion. A big team is like the Yankees versus LA, etc.
The Blue Jays gave the Dodgers a better World Series than the Yankees did.
I mean, there's no question they made it, bro. But it's levels to it, bro.
I think what Zeke.
I guess we're not on your level, man, because I'm not seeing it.
It's levels to it, man. Y'all like.
I think what Zeke is saying is from year to year,
right now.
From last year to this year, he's saying.
It is what it is. But
I don't think there's a single team in the. Yeah.
I was just saying, like, sticking to this question, what in your opinion, what's the spirit of replay? What's the reason for having replay?
I think the spirit of replay is to get obvious missed calls corrected so that the game is played fairly. I don't think we need to go down to a microscope and see, like, did a fingernail scratch it? Like, or, hey, you know what I mean? Like that to me, like the ball beat you there, bro. Like if you really wanted to be safe, this is my true take. If you really wanted to be safe, why you slide in head first or feet first, bro? Why not slide head first? How bad do you want that win?
Nobody slides head first in the home plate like that.
I would have slid head first and won the World Series.
Okay.
I got a question for you, Chris. This is our Colts, and it's the last play of the Super Bowl.
I said, as a casual.
Fade to the back corner. Okay? Fade to the back corner. Guy comes down, elbow comes down, and they're reviewing it, and it's for us to win. You want them to throw the rule out the window and just go with just what the refs say, or you want them to look at it?
Bro, what I'm saying is, like, if I played for the team or if I rooted for the team, I'm biased. And I think you could agree. If you're rooting for a specific team, you're biased. But if you're a casual watching the game on the greatest stage, and they're going down to the finger, if you're going down to the fingernail or the little key, that's not the spirit of the rule. The dude is clearly out.
The spirit of the rule is get the call right.
You know the spirit of the rule.
We got replay to get the call right. I want them to get the call right.
But back in the day, we used to have what they called the neighborhood play. You guys remember that?
Back in the day, and then they realized that was dumb, and they got rid of it.
Well, I mean, they did it to protect the shortstops.
Can you guys explain? And maybe you already said it, but like I just been watching this thing on loop, and I hear what you guys are saying, but I'm a bit confused. Did the ump call this an out?
The ump called it out, and they went to replay to try to overturn it. because they were saying that his cleat lifted in the air, which it did fractionally, and it made it back
It
down in
made
time.
it down before, yes. And
It
so
made it down before.
for me, the replay wasn't there to confirm or deny. What it was there was to just make sure that there wasn't an error from the ump's call, right? I don't understand the. I guess I don't understand the bickering back and forth. Like for me, the right call was made and the replay confirmed
But
it.
look at where his foot is on when the replay comes back around. His foot is clearly on the base. I can understand if he missed the base completely. His foot is clearly on the base when the ball's coming in, and he catches it, and it's a brief second, and it comes back down. But like, imagine if it was like just lifted. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, that's not the
If he's
heart
not
of.
on the
Yeah,
bat,
for
if he's
me, I
not on the
can't
base when he
It's
imagine.
not
catches the
the heart
ball, the
of it.
runner's safe.
Yeah, I can't imagine anything like. For me, it's whether he did or didn't do it. Like
It's black or
it's
white,
yeah,
man.
and for me, I don't. It's hard. You can't live in like the what if scenario when it comes to sports and
No,
rules and regulations. You got to live or die by the rule. I mean, that's just how sports are.
there's hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, and that rule is going to make sure that it gets done right.
Hmm.
All right, I guess I'm outvoted on this. Okay, so let's keep it moving. Um, what else that we had
Well,
here?
did
The
we cover
script.
did we cover everything?
Did we cover anything?
Casual point of view.
Uh,
Yeah, I guess we did. Yep, we did.
okay, okay.
Congrats
Yeah,
to
we
the
talked about
Dodgers.
Yamamoto. Yeah,
Congrats to the
congrats to
Dodgers.
the Dodgers. Um, yeah, it was funny seeing the memes afterwards where
Dodgers, man,
they were there like the Blue Jays lose.
I'm not congratulating the Dodgers, man. Y'all can miss me with that.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. All right, all right, all right. So load management. Let's go ahead and pull that up. So, do we have the clip on that too?
Yes. No, we don't have the clip. We just have a little a visual here.
Okay. So, Michael Jordan has criticized the practice of load management and healthy players sitting out games as being not necessary, while emphasizing duty to fans. Now, to be fair, I mean, I believe like he's mentioned this in the past, but he believes that players have a responsibility to perform when physically able, viewing each game as an opportunity to prove themselves and provide entertainment. Jordan suggests players should use the hours outside of a game to prepare rather than to sit out. And so, listen, I mean, fans are paying big monies for these tickets, especially courtside seats, to see these players play. And then ultimately, if they're sitting out for various, hey, the season's a long season. Um, that obviously, I mean, to many is disrespectful to the game. But Zeke, what are your thoughts on that on Michael Jordan's comments in particular, and on the overall scene that we see unfolding in the NBA?
This is the type of stuff that I was hoping to get from Mike when he joined the team at NBA on NBC. Um, just raw, honest, not worried about coddling today's players or worried about protecting their feelings. This is raw, honest, old school MJ. This
Preach.
dude was famous for playing 82 games a year and going through the playoffs and not missing a game. And he was very successful. Like there was no load management in his mind. His mentality was like he said before. Um, he had this mentality. Kobe adopted this mentality from him. That dude that bought a ticket in the nosebleeds to come see you play spent a lot of money to get that ticket. Probably scratched and clawed and spent money that he wasn't supposed to be spending on a basketball ticket to come see you play, whether it was home or away. So he was going to go out there and perform his best for that player. That's the type of mentality that, like I said, the MJs and the Kobe's and not just those. I mean, the mentality was when we were coming up. If you were healthy, if you could breathe and walk and jump, you were out there playing.
That's right.
Like you played hurt. There was a difference between hurt and injured. You had to be injured. Like, coach, my leg is sticking out of my skin. I can't play. All right, you can go put some ice on it. You better be ready for the next game. That was the type of mentality that these players had, and they were just fine. They did just fine. They didn't need load management. Their bodies didn't break down like that. So yeah, I totally agree with them. Like, you getting paid a whole lot of money. I know we say you get paid a lot of money to play a kid's sport. It's the truth. Like, you getting paid millions and millions of dollars. I looked at some of these salaries these guys are making. It's
Bananas.
crazy. And
Hmm.
I'm not even talking about like the top stars. I looked at the salary for the Bulls because I saw a couple of names that I didn't recognize on the Bulls roster who was making 18, $20 million. I'm like, who's that? So yeah, like if you can get out there and ball, go do that. Like Mike famously would go play 36 holes of golf and then play a game the same day. Like, while smoking cigars, and they dropped him off at the bar one night. They picked him up at the bar the next morning. He went out there and balled. Like, Mike's stories are very famous or infamous depending on, what 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 side of the morality line you want to step on. But yeah, that's the mentality that he had. I wish a lot more players these days had that mentality.
Yep.
Dave, what do you think this kind of mentality is done to the current condition of the sport today?
I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like the players today, I don't want to use the word soft. I just feel like they're extremely coddled. Um, Somewhere along the line, they've realized that um, the owners are just going to bend the knee to them. You know, they can go and act a fool and do whatever they want. I mean, look how James Harden has acted, with trying to get himself, out of town on several teams. You know what I'm saying? So when you got James Harden acting that way, it sets a precedent for the other players. They're like, we can do whatever we want. Um, they have these off the court um, ventures and stuff like that they're more concerned with. It's like, look at podcast P. He can show up podcasts, but he can't show up and get on. He can't be on the sideline with his team. You know, take that effort, man, and all that energy you putting into doing all the other stuff. Put that into rehabbing so you can get back out with your team. Now, I don't want to be too hard on them because, again, man, I don't. That's their life. It's their lifestyle. But from a fan standpoint, if somebody is paying $300 for a ticket, one ticket to go see them play, and they're sitting on the sideline, and the next thing you know, you see them out hanging out and stuff like that, it makes you wonder. So I don't know. I just feel obviously Jordan is right, man. He's the GOAT. Nobody's today is built like him. Nobody back then was built like him. Um, you know, Kobe was the closest thing to emulating him, but he's absolutely right. It's like the thing is they don't care, and nobody's making them care.
You know what? Not for nothing, but I feel like we need a Jordan to say exactly that in every sport because it's not just an NBA situation, in my humble opinion. Because this is the same thing that I've been like just so frustrated about this entire summer as we saw countless of pitcher after pitcher getting pulled in the fifth inning, fourth inning. And it's there like, bro, like you can't make it five, six, 7 innings no more. People used to pitch the whole game. And it's just there
Easy.
like to me, that's load management.
That that
Um,
that's I think that's different though, because you got the problem with that is not they can't they don't pitch as long as pitchers used to do because there's not an emphasis on pitching like there used to be. You dudes are just up there throwing gas. Like, nobody's pitching, nobody's dotting. I just watched a segment of the Greg Maddux documentary. He wasn't out there throwing 100 miles an hour. He was out there locating. He said his high school pitcher told him it's better to locate the pitch than it is to be able to throw it hard. These guys coming up these days, you got the Paul Skeens and the Hunter Greens and the Terry Schools. They want to throw 103 miles an hour, the whole game. Where when you had guys like Verlander and DeGrom and Randy Johnson and Roger Clemens and Kurt Schilling, like they pulled that out when they had to. Even Chris Sale, he's kind of a throwback because yeah, he has 96, 97, 98 in his bag. You don't see it until he needs it. Chris Sale is out there throwing changeups and sliders and two seamers where these
Yeah.
dudes just want to get up there and throw the ball. You can't control 103 miles an hour every time. So by the time they get to the fourth or fifth inning, they're at 100, 105 pitches. They can't go no more.
But
Pitchers
see,
of
but
yesteryear used to spread those pitches out over 7, 8, 9 innings. So
that's
that's
kind of
not
my
a
point.
situation of load management. That's just they not pitching like they used to.
Well, that's kind of my point, Zeke. Is like, look at the comment that we got up on the screen. He was there like, "Hey, you play basketball 2.5 hours, 3 hours a day. Pitchers, starting pitchers, that's even less than that, bro. What about the other 21 hours? How come you're not doing the stuff that guys that we used to watch, Greg Maddux of the world, right?
Because the
He,
organizations aren't making them do it.
And
The big thing now is throw hard.
this is it
but
right
like
here, bro.
if you could learn to do that kind, I haven't even got my takeout. But that's what I'm trying to say is they're like, bro, this is every sport. This is every sport. You got basketball players doing it. You got baseball players doing it, and football players ain't getting off easy because they took out all the hitting in preseason. They don't get any kind of physical contact, and then you got games like you had in the Cincinnati Bengals and the Chicago Bears where they're not form tackling, and so these guys just they're not playing they're not playing the way we used to see, and every little thing gets flagged, every little thing gets pampered. You can't even touch or look at the quarterback the wrong way. You could have a sack and it get flagged because oh, I'm sorry, you landed on him a little bit wrong. Like it's all load management. It's all pampering. It's all across all the sports. We need someone like Jordan in every sport to stand up and speak out. But yeah, Josh.
It's the mentality of the organizations, man.
I
That's what
I
it
think
is.
I'm starting I'm agreeing with Zeke on a little bit. Um, a lot of these organizations right now they're looking at the big dollars like we just talked about, right? He's what did you say, Zeke? One of the, like the lowest salaries you saw in the Bulls, $18 million, whatever
Some
contract,
dude I never heard of making 18,
crazy,
20
right?
million dollars.
And
Like what
so
the heck?
they're putting up these big dollars for these. Some people can call them no names, right? And so what they're doing is these organizations are literally protecting their assets, and how they're protecting their assets is they're babying them. They're they're sitting players, they're rotating players, they're
Wrapping them up
doing
in
things.
bubble wrap.
Exactly, wrapping them up in bubble wrap is perfectly said. And so what they're doing is they're protecting their assets, and the assets are protecting themselves as well, because who doesn't want to sit on the bench and get paid $20 million? Like, I mean, when it comes to easy money, that's easy money. Now, people like Jordan didn't care so much about the money. He cared about leaving a legacy and being the top dog on the court. And he, although he got paid handsomely and is probably one of the greatest sports figures of all times when it came to contracts and shoes and the brand itself, um, Jordan, when it came to the game time, he wanted the ball in his hands and he wanted to dominate at all times. It didn't matter the season, it didn't matter the game, it didn't matter mid-season or postseason. He wanted to dominate. That was just his mentality. Today, dudes just want to pad the bank account and feel good after they retire.
Be
So
friends afterwards.
exactly, exactly. And so, I mean, you have to also look at it from the standpoint of like it's a whole different time frame. It's a whole different era. Mentalities are completely different from sports organizations down to the players on all levels. And so, I mean, Jordan is 100% right. He's 100% right. And I look at it more like this is like if you want to be like Jordan, you can't think about the 2.5 or 3 hours. You got to be focusing on the 21 hours. That's where my mind goes when I see this quote. It's what you're doing to prepare yourself before you get to the game time makes legends.
All right. All right. Well, share your thoughts in the chat. Let us know what you think about some of the topics that we brought up. Make sure you like and subscribe. We got a couple more things to get into, though.
Mhm.
Let's throw it up to It Happened Today.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Okay, Z.
Yeah, so on this day, it's this week starting tomorrow, Major League Baseball is going to be revealing their award winners for this year. So figured it'd be fitting to give the captain some love. Back in '96, on this day, Derek Jeter was named Rookie of the Year for the American League unanimously. And anybody who knows anything about baseball knows that he took that and propelled himself to Hall of Fame and legend status. So shout out to Jeter. He's doing a phenomenal job. I don't think I ever thought I'd see Jeter doing commentary on baseball, but he kind of like Derek to me, Derek Jeter doing commentary on baseball is kind of like Jordan doing commentary on basketball. It's just like something I thought I'd never see, and now we got both of them. So it's great as the kid who grew up in the '90s watching these dudes. And shout out to Alex Ovechkin.
I,
Uh,
bro, you
back
got
back in back in 2022, he set the record for the most goals scored with one team, and tonight he scored
this
his 900th goal.
is it,
Um,
bro. I was just
so
looking it up.
7 months ago we had Ovi watch, and actually he scored. He passed Wayne Gretzky on a night where we were recording, and tonight, just as we were coming on air, he scored his 900 goal. Uh, he's the only player in the history of hockey to score 900 goals. So
What a
shout out to
dog.
Ovi, still doing it at the ripe young age of 40, out here playing the kids game, and he's off to a little bit of a slow start, but I don't know, maybe this will give him the kick in the butt to keep it going, or maybe he can just pull an Elway and just all right, I can't do no better, I'm out. We'll see.
That's pretty wild, though, man. That's
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
900 goals is
That's
sick,
that's
man.
something to be proud of right there. Not only 900 goals, but like, what's the chances of it happening on a night where we pick them for a on this date? This happened, and then boom, we're gonna be talking about this in our 500th episode
I
on this
mean,
day.
I told the people I was on Ovi watch I would have felt bad if it happened and we didn't mention it, so I made sure. I'm glad it popped up on it happened today, so we can throw it up there. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, so shout out to Ovi.
Shout out to Ovi.
Shout out to Ovi.
OV to OG. All right. Well, let's throw it up to the weekly roundup.
You know it. Let's see, we got weekly roundup.
I
Right
think
down
we
the
got a clip to share on this one, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. So allow me to set it up. Well, I guess really don't need to set this one up, do I? The clip kind of,
Yeah, I mean,
if it's
set it up a little bit, kind of give some context to it.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Well, I mean, Kevin Durant was on a podcast, and we're going to see the clip here in a second. He's basically talking about how he didn't appreciate how, certain sports writers were commenting on a legacy score. And so they were scoring like Steph Curry really high because he managed to get all his accolades with one team. And so, as you'll see here, he doesn't think that's fair. And I'll let Kevin Durant, in his own words, explain why.
Here we go.
The thing with Acho.
Yeah, like what? Like this
But
guy.
that's another Texas guy, though.
Yeah, but
King.
he's not as a like. I don't like the arrogance in a lot of these guys too. That man had a cup of tea in the league, and they speak on the mentality of great players. How you supposed to become great? How you? What would you do in a situation when you're the best player on the team? The way they talk.
You've never been the best player on the team.
You never walked through the situation before. When the whole scout report is tailored to stop you. You've been there before.
Mm-hmm.
You guys play defense, so it's a little different. But
Yeah, they know what time it is.
when
He did.
the
They
whole
know
scout
it.
report on
Right,
you,
yeah.
you know how much pressure that is on a man.
I don't,
seriously.
KD. I don't. They let Troy do everything. They let Troy and Sean do everything. My job was to make sure I took care of it.
See what I'm saying? So when you wake, like, on the wake up, you got anxiety a day of a game. You got to prepare man. It's a lot that goes into trying to being great every single day. And so when people who never had to be that, speaking to the masses, of people who take what you say as
gospel.
as law.
Yeah.
When you've never been in that situation, I like to be the guy to remind you that it's guys that actually been in that situation. And understand that on the level that you probably wouldn't understand it. So let them dudes talk. You know, so Acho, I had to let them know that. I got to let a lot of these dudes know that, because when you get that title and they hand you that check and you work for these Disney and Fox and all of these big corporations, you really feel like you bigger than what you are sometimes. And you can get lost in that.
I've been there.
And somebody who's on that level, who doesn't act that way, who respects all athletes and what they've done and understand how hard it is to do what they do, I gotta just let you know, man, you coming at this a little different. And I think you can help the community a little better with what you say in that position that you in. You see what I'm saying?
No, I totally understand that.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dave, we'll throw it to you first, brother. Do you think this is Kevin Durant speaking facts or just trying to justify and defend his own actions?
So I actually was in the car with my wife earlier, man, and we were talking about this. We were kind of just having a conversation about just things and people, people stepping up to the plate and doing things. Why can't people step up and handle things in certain situations and do what they're supposed to do? And I told her that this video had a real impact on me because I'm 100% with Kevin Durant on this. And I told my wife, I'm glad that to hear him break this down the way that he did. Because since this dude was in high school, people have been gunning for him and plotting and scheming to stop him. We're talking about since he was 16, 17, 18 years old. Then he goes to Texas and it's the same thing. Then he comes to the league and it's the same thing. He said it's caused anxiety for him multiple times, waking up with anxiety, knowing that they're doing nothing but planning to stop you. Then you get a guy like Ocho, right? Who was not that dude, happened to get a ring. I think Ocho got a ring in college, right? I think they both went to Texas, if I'm not mistaken. He gets a national champ. Wasn't he on the championship team with Vince?
I think so.
Yeah.
Wait, was he? Oh, he's only like 34, so maybe not.
No, maybe not. Maybe not. But anyway, I understand where Kevin Durant is coming from, and it actually makes me a little more sensitive to when an athlete is not performing well. You know what I'm saying? It's like I absorbed this more than you guys think, probably thought I would, man. Or it was one of those topics that kind of catches you off guard and it starts you to thinking. So when you see KD and people throwing shots at him all the time, he's going at people on Twitter. He's dealing with that aspect of it, but his job, man, is to go out there and score buckets, put the ball in the hoop. And 24/7, somebody is plotting and planning to stop him, which will interrupt his livelihood. It will interrupt and have an effect on his payday. It could, you know what I'm saying? It will have an effect on his value, not only his value to his team, but the people that depend on him. So him doing well, there's several people depending on him to do well so that they do well. So I can see where he's coming from. The way he said this, man, it was very eloquent. I applaud him because he was trying so hard not to tear down Acho's. I call that dude Ocho. Acho's
Take.
I call him Ocho earlier. Acho's
because he wasn't
accomplishment,
that dude.
right? But he wasn't that dude, man. It's like, and I thought Durant was gracious in not tearing him down. But Durant is that dude, and he always will be that dude. He always has been that dude. So he can speak to it because he knows what it's like for to have people gunning for him. Acho doesn't know what that feels like. And so for Acho to come out with this little scale and try to throw salt, and throw shade, I mean, he's kind of a clown to me anyway. But um, I came out of this situation having a lot more respect for athletes. And then, even like, I think about it with my Yankees, man. Like when when they have a poor performance, you got to think about like, what is it that they're dealing with, you know, that day? What have they dealt with when they put their feet on the floor, when they took their first breath, and after waking up that morning? So, um, props to Durant, man. KD did a great job with this, and I'm 100% behind him, man.
Now this is interesting to me because I wasn't expecting you to take that take, but let me kind of find out what the other ops crew here thinks here. Zeke or Josh, either of you disagree at all with Dave's take, at all what Kevin Durant said, um, or are you kind of all kind of the same opinion as Dave?
A little bit, although I would just take it a little bit further. I don't fully agree that you have to be that guy to have a specific take, as long as that take makes sense. And obviously, what Acho said here just didn't make sense. And I think KD did come from it from an angle. I actually, just watching that was the second time I've seen that, and I would say like that's probably one of the most humble takes I've heard KD
Yeah,
have. And he did it not in a like Dave said, in a malicious way, but more so in a professional way.
he
And
showed grace.
yeah, he did. He really did. But at the same time, like I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, because you weren't that guy, you don't have a right to speak on this. I don't fully agree with that stance, right? But if you're gonna speak, you better be educated, because you're gonna be made a fool if you don't speak correctly. And so that's kind of where I'm at on that. But beyond that, yeah, I'm fully in agreement with KD on this specific topic and this specific take.
Zeke, you got anything different there, or should I just
Um,
jump in there?
so for the sake of Chris's favorite word, context, I looked up uh, Acho's legacy formula or whatever. And pretty much, he takes the number of championships you won and divides it by the number of teams you play for. So, um, with that being said, um, by that formula, Steph Curry's legacy is greater than Michael Jordan's.
Right, right.
That alone puts him in clown category to me. Now again, like Josh said, I'm not the type where I'm gonna say if you've never played or if you never had a certain level of success, you can't speak on another man's career because these people they get paid to talk about other athletes. Um, I think you gotta have a certain amount of respect though. To Kevin Durant has a legacy of his own. He's gonna go down as one of the greatest of all time. The Slim Reaper, easy money sniper. You tell me I gotta start a team with a bunch of players in their prime, and I would not be sad to have prime Kevin Durant to build around. So to shade that man's legacy like that, I don't know. I don't know what Acho wanted to gain from it. Maybe he wanted to gain. I think KD would have been better off not responding because until he responded, I never knew Acho had a legacy score or said anything about it. So I think he gave him more publicity by shutting it down. Because just like me, I'm pretty sure some people had to go and say, well, what did Acho say? So he just got more clicks for that foolishness. But
But
yeah,
Acho's not the only
I
one
don't fault
saying
the
that
man
kind
for
of
that.
stuff.
I
A
don't
lot, a
fault
lot
the
of
man
people
for
have
that.
said that about Kevin Durant.
That was just
About like
Acho's feelings talking, honestly, if you think about it. Because Acho and KD have had it back and forth for like the past year on takes.
but this is something that has been said about Kevin Durant for a while, ever since he left OKC. They've been talking about, yeah, you won 2 championships, but there's an asterisk there, right? You went to a team that had just won it the year before. They really didn't need you all like that, you know what I mean? And so like there was an asterisk there, right? And I feel like he's got that hanging over his head, and he's trying to justify himself a little bit, which I understand. I agree with you though, Josh. Like I don't think he's on the island that he thinks he is, that no one else can understand him unless they're Kevin Durant, LeBron James, or Michael Jordan. I don't agree with that because, like, in everyday life, I think a lot more common folks might be able to relate to him. Because if you ever had, like, I would say, even just a management position that everyone else is gunning for, people want your job. People are gunning for you, right? And so, like, there's people that have that day to day pressure, right? And it's not just for 3 hours a day; it's 8 hours a day, right? And so it's like I don't think you give enough credit to the people that are out there. And I think I think I agree with you, Josh. I think that's where he fell short a little bit, is that he didn't give enough credit to everyday folks. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And to me, that showed me that he was a little out of touch. Is they're like, bro, there's people that have stress and drama in their life. There's people that have people game planning, gunning for them, gossiping about them, trying to knock them down a peg so they can take their spot. That's not unique to basketball, bro. It's not. And so it's like to insinuate that is almost I would say it's darn near insulting. I forget what was that player that I forget what he was talking about when he was just there. Like, maybe it was Damian Lillard, where he was just talking about like, hey, do you feel any pressure like in those last minute moments? He was there like, pressure. Pressure is not knowing where your next meal is coming from.
Yeah.
Pressure is, you know what I mean, is knowing that you got to make things happen or your kids ain't going to be able to eat. That's pressure.
You know
Throwing
what?
up a shot at the end of the game is not pressure.
I'm gonna tell
That's
you
that's
something,
the
man.
kind of that's real talk.
Let me put this out there, bro. Because my dad used to say this to me about the cats who used to argue about, oh man, you from the West Side, man. My neighborhood is this. My neighborhood is that. To equate misery is insanity. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So you could sit there and Kevin Durant could say, I got people gunning for me. Then you could have the manager say, well, I got people trying to take my job. Then
Mm-hmm.
you can have the other person say, well, you know what? I woke up today and I didn't know if I was going to. I got cancer. Then you could have this guy that said, you know what? I don't have either one of my legs. Then you could have another dude say, I wasn't born with a torso. Where does it stop, bro? You know what I'm saying? That's insanity, bro. It's insanity. Of course, a person in a management job has people gunning for his job. You feel what I'm saying? But does he have 100 million people on Twitter coming at him talking about his mama and talking about how he don't have a father and all of this? You see what I'm saying? That's that's where I get where Kevin Durant gets. I won't say sympathy, but he gets the support from me because we know Kevin Durant and he goes scorched earth. And this was a completely different Kevin Durant that we saw in this tape. That's why I'm rocking with him because I know what he's capable of and I know what he showed a lot of grace in what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't worried about anybody else. I'm not worried. He's not worried about the manager that has people going. He's talking about he's going directly at Acho, the person that went at him. He went at his credibility. He went at his resume. And that's why he came out and went. He defended himself. He wasn't trying to defend the person who's a manager and everyday people. At that moment, he didn't care about everyday people because his credibility was being questioned. And that's why I'm rocking with him in that situation. I get what you're saying, Peasy, but for me, it's apples to oranges. It's like that man didn't come at everyday people. He came at KD's legacy. He
Mm-hmm.
made it personal. And
All
so
right. I was
So
gonna say something, but we kind of stayed a little longer on this than we usually do.
I just want to say one more thing on this though. If you really
Okay.
take if anyone took Acho's formula serious, then take someone like Allen Iverson and plug that in.
Right.
Like
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that was a serious formula. Like you can't call it a serious formula if it's only got like two legs to it. It's not like he invented war or he
right.
invented
Right.
like that's not a real formula. He just did like, hey, let's just divide it by this. Bro, that's
That's
ridiculous.
casual fan water cooler talk.
Yeah,
That's
for real.
right. That's right.
For real. So
All right, I was gonna say some more stuff, but we'll keep it moving because we got a couple other things. All right, throw up the next topic because we're running out of time here.
oh no, it's scrolling there, but it's the next one is
Hold on a second.
Do we have the graphic?
Oops, hold up. I got you. Why does that keep popping up?
Because Jordan's the GOAT.
All right, here we go. All right, so ready, set, go. We got the fourth battle of the sexes about to take place. I had this in the little write up here, but essentially what's happening is, if you remember or recall, we had three other events, and I'll mention those in a second here. But the ones happening soon here is men's 652nd ranked Nick, and I don't even know how to say that name. Zeke, help me.
I don't
Kyrgios.
know.
Oh,
Nikki
okay.
K.
Nikki K will face off against women's number one, Arena Sabalenka, in a tennis match, December 28th, being dubbed the fourth battle of the sexes. Now, men lead that series 2-1, with the most famous being Billie Jean King's victory. And just to kind of bring to light, some of those other events, the first battle of the sexes was Bobby Riggs versus Margaret Court, where Riggs ended up defeating Court. That was back in 1973, and then of course Billie Jean King was the most famous of the three matches. Took place in later that year, also in '73, where King actually defeated Riggs, and so Riggs he couldn't clean sweep the women's division apparently, and then number three was Jimmy Connors versus Martina Navratilova, a match in which Connors was able to win. And so,
Hope it wasn't Jimmy Carter. Man,
what do you say?
I hope it wasn't Jimmy Carter.
That's Connors. Yeah, I said Carter. I meant Connors. So the question is this a publicity stunt, fellas, that should be ignored? Or, hey, is there cultural significance to these kind of contests? I see you shaking your head, Josh. What do you think, brother?
yes to the first one. It should be ignored. And is this a cultural? No. And here's why. It's an exhibition match. I view this like I view Mayweather fighting Jake Paul. Like this is what I view this as. It to me, it's all for show. It doesn't count towards anything. It doesn't matter which person wins and which one doesn't. If you wanna take it all the way down to the team boy versus team girl, I guess you could take it serious, but that's kind of childish if you ask me. I mean, I really don't.
You don't think there's any cultural significance at all? All right.
No,
Zeke, what about you, brother?
Man, all of these, like, it's always like lopsided. Like it would be more to me if she was playing against what's his name? Alcaraz. Like let's go number one versus number one. Like even when Billie Jean King won, Bobby Riggs was 55 years old.
right?
Billie Jean King was 29. Dude shouldn't have been on the tennis court. Like it's always lopsided. This dude is ranked what, six something in the world? She's
650.
the number one women's player, and we're supposed to take this seriously, man? No, there's no significance to this. I hope they have fun. I hope they raise a lot of money for whatever they raise the money for. I hope she wins. Good luck, but I don't care.
I'm with
This
Team
this is
Boy.
this is dumb.
So you're saying if it should still be ignored if she wins?
I mean, it's not gonna mean a whole lot to me.
Hey, what do you think, brother?
It's a waste of time.
Nothing
Waste of
burger. Go
time.
ahead, Dave. You ain't said nothing burger in a minute.
This is an absolute nothing burger. It should be completely ignored. I'm going into my Black Bob Costas right now. This is a nothing burger, folks. Please ignore it. There's no cultural significance to this at all. Ignore it. Even if she wins, does she really win? I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
I'll tell you what, like, I, the only reason I think this has some significance to it is because of two reasons. One, it brings attention to the sport, man. There's a lot of people that probably are going to see that match because they're rooting for one team or the other, maybe a lot of young girls. And if she can
You
pull
watch
this
it?
out, like,
That's every
I watched it.
bro.
I watched tennis. I told you I watched
You
women's
watching
tennis
this
and
match?
men's tennis.
You watching it, Peasy?
If it comes on one of the channels I have, I'll watch it.
Oh,
Let us know how it go.
he just got
That's
booted.
right. Yeah.
The guy was like,
If it comes on the air, I'll definitely tune in. But
let us know how it
you
go.
know, yeah, right. But like there's some like challenges or exhibitions that bring shine to a sport. And so, like you said, like a Logan Paul, it brings attention to the sport of boxing. This brings attention to the sport of tennis, and it might bring some casuals in. And not for nothing, imagine if she can have her Billie Jean King moment, who became a legend to a lot of young girls. It could be something that can resonate with a lot of young future athletes, and completely change the direction for some people. So, you know, uh, I know you guys are like poo pooing it because you're there like, yeah, she's probably going to get slaughtered.
Chris, you sound like
That
a
might
girl
be,
dad right now. I feel where you're coming from. You got to say that. I understand you. I understand. I
I
feel you.
am a girl dad.
I
And,
know. I
but
know.
like,
That's why I'm gonna let you slide. I'm gonna let it slide.
But
but
Let it
listen,
slide.
man,
Just
it's got
keep
some
the same
facts to it
energy
though.
when I want to talk about the WNBA when it pops up again.
yeah, Peasy. But what you just said though is like it might bring some attention. How?
It's
What brings
not.
attention? What brings attention is the Toronto Blue Jays and the LA Dodgers and them having a Game 7 World Series almost best performance ever. That's what brings attention to games, not an exhibition match. Like what? It's like me being out there playing Serena Williams. Like that would bring attention to the sport? No.
All right.
You know,
Well, this is another topic, ladies and
hold on a
gentlemen, where your
second.
boy Peasy is
Hold on a
outvoted.
second. Hold on a second.
Hmm?
I got a question. You said that it would bring. You said that it's gonna bring attention to like Jake Paul and whoever he's
It
fighting.
brings attention to the sport of boxing.
No,
It
it
brings
brings
casuals in.
attention to Jake Paul, bro. It's just like, does Taylor Swift showing up to the Chiefs game, does it bring attention to football or does it bring attention to Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
It brings its both because the reason they cut to her is because they know more people are going to tune in when they do.
Yeah, but for the 30 seconds that they cut to her versus the
But
2
bro, they're
hours,
watching the game. They're watching the game to see that moment.
just to get one
People
Because
are tuning
they
in.
got prop bets on how many times Taylor gonna be on TV.
That may be the case. They may have beer challenges, all that kind of stuff. But the fact remains is if you can pull casuals in, you might be able to convert them into
what
fans.
has this world come to? If
So you
people
think
watching
you
a
got a bunch of
Chiefs game
Swifties that are new
picking
NFL
against
fans
Taylor
because
Swift?
Taylor Swift went to watch our man play?
Nah, bro.
What
Bro,
has
you ever
the
heard
world
the
come
term that what was it? Hey, we just had election day yesterday, where they say all publicity is good publicity, right? And it's there like, bro, it's just to say like you can spin doctor a lot of things. And so like, bro, if you can get eyeballs there, then you can kind of tell the story of your sport. And that's I think what's the significance of this. But clearly I'm outvoted.
Tell that
And
to the lady
Again,
that snatched the
to talk?
baseball from that little boy. She got a lot
but
of publicity and it wasn't good.
right.
what? Tell that to the publicity of what?
Tell that to the lady that snatched the baseball from the little boy that all publicity is good publicity.
She went and marched at him and carrying
She got
that father into
listen,
giving her the baseball.
Bro, 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 if you got your hair cut like that, bro, you were waiting for that moment. That was your moment to shine. Like, bro, like she was plotting that moment for a long time.
I
She
hope
ain't
it comes to
ashamed.
that kid and that kid alone, so I snatch it from his hands.
That's right. It's my time to shine. All right, let's do. We're gonna have to call it on this last one. Let's throw up the last one here.
The other side of
All
the
right.
ball.
You know what? We kind of covered this a little bit, but just to get into it, just a little bit surface, a little bit more deeper than the surface. Chase Brown talked about the defensive side of the ball and received backlash. Chase Brown being the running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. After the game, when they lost in the final second, he said, "Get a stop. Get a stop. That's all we need you to do. We scored. You get a stop. We win the game. That's it." And he got bashed. He also got, a lot of people came to his side to defend him as well. But where does our panel stand? Should you ever talk about the other side of the ball?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Do your
Josh.
job. Do your job. Worry about your job. That's it. That's all I got.
Nah. Here's why. Because when Jalen Hurts throws a touchdown, gets a score, is in the lead with 4 minutes left, what does he do? He goes to the sidelines. He goes up to his D lineman. He goes up to his CBs. He says,
That's not a
"Let's
post
go.
game conference, bruh.
Win this. That's what he thought. Bro, the Bengals were up. Get a stop. We win this game. Give us a chance."
Listen, and the next time the Bengals defense gets a stop, and all my man has to do is get a yard to seal the game, and he fumbles the ball, and can the defense come up and say, get a yard, just get a yard? Like
Yes, they
that
can.
opens Pandora's box. Like Dave said, do your job. Bill Belichick famously said, "Go out and do your job. Don't worry about the other team. Do your job.
No,
Don't
bro.
worry about the other side of the ball.
Because
Don't worry about what nobody else is doing. Do your job."
no, here's why. Because
Yes, man.
when it comes to team sports, your job
Uh
as a good teammate is to
huh.
cheer your team on, get them pumped up, get them.
And you think Chase Brown talking about the defense after a tough loss is him cheering his team on?
It's not so much about that. I'm just talking about when it comes to getting your team back.
You just wanted another opportunity to glaze Jalen Hurts.
Nah,
And nobody talking about Jalen Hurts, but here you go. When Jalen Hurts throws a touchdown, blah blah blah. Nobody cares about Jalen Hurts. Should my man have said anything about the defense or no?
yes, defense blew it.
Okay, and I respectfully disagree.
That's perfect.
Guys,
What else do you want
I
to
love,
say?
I love this back and forth, Dave. I'm going to stay out of that. I think they hit both sides of the argument very, very well, and you let us know what you think in the chat. But hey, I had fun tonight. What about you guys, fellas?
indeed.
Good show. Good show.
I wanted to talk about Cam Newton, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that next week, bro. We went
Dang
way
it.
Bro,
over.
let's not talk about Cam Newton because I'm gonna bring up Jalen Hurts. He's gonna say I'm glazing him.
You probably would.
Yeah, because Cam Newton talking about Jalen. What do you want me to say?
You know, if Jalen Hurts had a podcast, he would never say something like that. Blah blah blah.
Hey Zeke, look,
Oh man.
Zeke.
Yo, Dave, push the button, man. Where my music at?
Where's the eject button? Guys, thank you so much for joining us this week on the Opps SportsCast. We'll be here next week. Same time, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Make sure you check us out, like and subscribe and share, and let us know your thoughts. I got outvoted quite a bit on today's show, so show your boy PZ some love, especially since it's my birthday tomorrow. Let me know if you agree in the comments, and hopefully you will, because of course I'm the most sensible on the show. Everybody knows that,
Oh
right?
God, push the button, Dave. Ejectocito, cuz.
Hey, take care, fellas. Have a great week.
All right, bro. Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Deuces.